One of my main mindsets is priority is given, not taken. Watch what I do with the car on the left hand side. My road has priority over this side road, and the other vehicle has to give way, but I always think of it as they might not give way. Even though you can see the driver's window from here and my car is bright green, this driver may very well be looking left at this actual point. Listen to my car's speed before the vehicle emerges. A classic non-event, but today's video is all about poor emerging. This is Phil, my crane driving viewer, and I think he makes a little mistake here. Well, I wouldn't have done the same. I'm suspecting Phil knows this road, and we've just seen this vehicle turn across, so there's obviously a junction there. And that's even if you ignore the sign to our left. But it's uphill and on a left bend, so the view's going to be restricted for anyone coming out. I would have reduced a little more and been ready for this to happen, and not overtaken. It's hard to say what Phil could see from the driver's seat as the dashcam is more in the centre. This could very well have been a safe overtake, but like said, I don't think I would have done it. Would you? There's an even greater risk of danger and injury when you ride a cycle with poor emerging. Matt sorts this out brilliantly though. Would you have had the thought that you've possibly not been seen? Or would you take priority?
Hello?
That's disgraceful driving. Poor emerges on faster carriageways are even more dangerous. My viewer seems to suss this one out, but then the driver of the black car emerging does something really unexpected. Would you have got onto this? When you emerge, you should never make people slow down, stop, swerve or swear, and this driver definitely didn't do that.
Where are they going? They're not even... They didn't have to pull right out to that lane.
No, they didn't.
Me and Liz have got a new member of the family. No, it's not grandchildren yet, thankfully. Well, no. I'd be quite happy with the grandchildren, to be honest. But me and Liz have bought a dog. Meet Callie. Callie's a 4-month-old cane corso. She's a rescue dog. We got her from Carla Lane Animal Sanctuary, which I've done a little bit of work to help just leading up to Christmas, so thank you all for your support. But Callie's going to be well trained. She's already doing brilliant things already. She can sit, paw, wait, she drops. She's really well trained. But she's going to be coming everywhere with us, so I'm not going to be able to put her in this car. This is a professional, although it's filthy at the moment because it's the weekend. It is a professional workspace, and I can't be turning up for ADI training with a car that stinks of a dog. Because Callie is a cane corso, she's going to end up a big girl. She's already got a massive head and she's got big paws, so I'm suspecting she's probably going to be 10 stone or so, so I'm definitely not going to fit her in a hatchback. Probably going to have to get an estate car. So I've had a little look around and I've come up with a few options, but today's integration is a car that might fit the bill. This BMW 335 is 10 years old or so, but it did have an accident in 2019 and it looked like it was a pretty serious one. It was written off. However, its history shows that it has been repaired. It's had numerous MOT passes since it was repaired, and it's even had one this year in January, so it's definitely back on the road. Before you purchase something of this nature though, especially with it maybe being a BMW and the 335 diesel, it's not super high spec, but it's quite a nice spec. It's the 4-wheel drive, which would probably suit my needs. We are, like I said, we are going to take Callie absolutely everywhere with us. We've got some potential trips planned. You do need to get it checked out, like you do with any car when you're purchasing it. But when it's quite a high-spec car like this, especially with the age, 10 years old, and especially with 145,000 miles, I want to gather as much information as I can before I shell out on this motor. The next time you're thinking of changing your car, I would advise getting it checked out using Car Vertical. My links are always going to be in the description, and if you use the code Ashley, you're going to be able to save yourself 20% on giving yourself that extra peace of mind. Thanks a lot, Car Vertical, and updates on Callie will follow in due course.
Many people don't take anywhere near enough care when they're emerging through a queue, but you can often anticipate this. Look for the gaps in the traffic and be expecting someone just to pull out, because they often do. Even though it definitely wasn't the Audi driver's fault, their insurance is likely to rise the following year. Good drivers will anticipate this and spot it before it happens, and a collision won't occur. And that's why they deserve cheaper insurance premiums. Honestly, a poor emerge, but my viewer should do better. The layout of certain junctions can encourage poor emerges in some situations, and this is a classic example. A left bend with the junction on the right hand side. Watch the second car come out. They gambled heavily on people from my viewer's direction to be approaching at the correct speed. But what if someone isn't? Don't take those risks. Allowing people to clear when it's a difficult get out is also good practice. I wouldn't have said that this junction was particularly difficult though, so for me that car was emerging poorly. But the next one that we're going to see is definitely a poor emerge. A simple lack of observation due to impatience. My viewer also had the difficulty of the Tesla on the left undertaking. In this clip from Matt, we actually see a good example of emerging. It's a difficult one because Matt's probably hidden, but the driver takes the time and creeps before they commit. And they're able to sort it. Matt is a top-class road user. He's always ready to fix other people's mistakes. Do you operate like this? Although this is an absolute ridiculous way to emerge, you'll see in a moment, I don't think my viewer operates in the same way Matt does. The comparison between the last two clips is quite dramatic. This next incident happens right at the start of the footage that we're watching, and it's quite difficult to see, but there is a bicycle right in front of the junction, and this van emerges. The cyclist is nearly forced into the oncoming van. Terrible driving. That could have easily been a fatality. People need to emerge with more care. It's highly likely, even with lights on, my viewer wasn't spotted here.
I pooped my pants.
Video locked.
Thanks for sending in. Being at the correct pace to sort out a poor emerge is key, especially when you're on a bicycle. A lot of cyclists do get this wrong. Not my viewer though.
You know, hey. Come on, mate. Yeah, wow.
Sometimes, quite simply, there's no logic behind a terrible emerge. That must have been Alison Becker driving this car. That was a great save. Sometimes poor emerges will be simply down to a lack of understanding. Many people do this. They approach a roundabout and think because there are other vehicles travelling on the inside that they can then emerge into lane 1. You can't. You must give way to both lanes when you're entering a roundabout. People can also emerge poorly joining faster carriageways. But I'm going to leave this for a separate video all on its own. Have a look at the car ahead. How can you not find a gap to fit in with the length of that slip road? They only felt comfortable going when my viewer came out and protected the space. Surely they're not going to move to lane 2. It's not just drivers you've got to be aware of emerging poorly. It's dogs also. Look out for long leads and owners who aren't paying attention. Emerging out poorly in front of a driving school vehicle isn't a good idea either. But us instructors should have this situation covered nicely, as this instructor did. We don't have any lovely crisp clear VFO footage after this event, but this situation should be explained to the student so they can pick up on the clues and deal with it themselves the following time.
What was he doing? That one might fall down.
Go to first gear, yeah.
Hopefully the explanation that the driver was stuck behind the A pillar would have been explained later on. Keep safe everyone, I'll see you soon.